DJ Envy is getting sued because he went into a partnership with someone and he didn't understand not only the business model, but how that was going to affect his audience. Many Steve Harvey lost millions of dollars to his CPA because he didn't understand the rules. He didn't understand how he could follow up. He didn't understand any types of checks and balances. Many of these stories with the evolution of a podcast, everybody want to tell their story on the podcast. But what people aren't hearing is the impact that the advice that these people are giving and the people that they stand behind and promote and how that can affect real people's lives who don't have the money to absorb a mistake. This is probably the one area that, as someone, this is why I actually speak and why I understand why my views are what it is. Sometimes I'll get some views. Because the fact of the matter is, when I'm speaking something, number one, I never speak on something I don't know about. And I don't try to go learn it in 5 minutes to come up with some content. No, I actually have to know about it. But when it comes to the banking and when it comes to your money, there are rules, processes, regulations, and procedures that you have to go through. And the fact that many people are sold this idea that, oh, this is the rule, but oh, you could just do this. They think the normal financial system is basically a workaround. It's basically, hey, there's always a sneak loophole. And so, again, thank goodness for these algorithms that show you all the different ways that people do things. Because if that person truly understood how real estate went, the rules for lending, the rules for putting a hedge fund together or anything, he would have saw that it was a Ponzi scheme. And more or less, even the Jay Morrison guy, not saying anything that these people are doing is, I don't know them, so I can't say what intent. But what I do know is looking at them and looking at the decisions and how they're putting things together. And me, because I know the rules, I've been tested on the rules, something I go through a lot from a compliance aspect. I understand how the belief that you want to just help your people, whether it's black, white, whoever. But it's so easy to see why, quite frankly, I don't know if people will ever trust the financial system. Will they ever trust the financial system? Now, there are many pieces of evidence that show when you follow the rules, when you understand how to just simply take out a credit card, apply for a loan, apply for a business loan. I get all that. And there are ways that a person could help you understand how do you measure this qualification and how do you ensure that you're following the path correctly. How do you understand what's a good piece of real estate that you should be buying? How do you understand how the rules of the tax law apply to your situation and why you're able to take depreciation and why you're able to deduct certain expenses and what expenses should you be deducting? Those are things you should know, especially if you're in that type of business. But the hardest thing about this piece of money and about trying to get people to understand is those with the biggest platforms, and they've grown their platforms. They're good at lifestyle. They're good at music. They're even good at talking entrepreneurship. But when you take them out of their lane, the ignorance is shown. The problem with that is people believe their ignorance. I've seen advice where people say, hey, it's a recession. Yeah, you might not want to break up with your boyfriend right now. Really? That's your financial tip of the day. Seeing advice where, and I mean, all these have been discussed, but I mean, the advice where, oh, you can go apply for a car loan. You're not really going to buy a car, but that's going to translate after you hold the loan, you don't give them no documents, into a personal loan, and then you can use that for a business. Really? You can't do a lot of these things. And so the more that these things permeate throughout the culture, they go through and people are actually doing this and getting burned, and it has more impact when you don't have the financial insulation, you don't have the savings, you don't have the pieces to build that up. Hey, I want you to go get this business line of credit. I want you to do all this. But yeah, your business is not profitable. Your business isn't even on paper. It's just an idea. So what I'm going to give you a bill for, and not only a bill, we're not talking about $50,000, $50, we're talking about $50,000. Why am I going to give you that? Why am I going to take you down that path? No, I want you to be successful. DJ Envy is going to unlikely. I mean, he seems like a very introspective person. So I'm pretty sure he's going to go back and look at, okay, why? What did I miss? How did I not see this? And that's the responsibility that, again, I serve 5,000 people between a Facebook group and all that, and I hold dear to the advice, and I'm very clear on why I'm telling somebody to do a certain pieces of steps, because I can explain the rule. When someone gives you a tip, when they give you a hack, when they give you something, the biggest question, if you don't ask anything, is show me the rule. Show me the rule to how that works. They don't know the rule. You're building a hack, because ultimately, if the IRS locks down your bank account, if your cars get repossessed, your business gets shut down, whatever, they're not going to be there to save you. And even if you sue them, by the time you sue them, and let's say you win, by the time that fully finishes out, the damage would have been done to your life. You really, in this day and age, I want most people at this point, it's all about discernment. People that you think have money don't. They're probably broker than you. But more importantly, when you're talking about money, understand there are rules to all of it. And the rules may not be sexy, but there are rules and laws to all of this. DJ Envy, much like Shaq and Steph Curry and others with the FTX, he made a mistake. Steve Harvey, he made a mistake. He could have followed up. He could have actually seen that his tax bill wasn't paid. That's a different story. But you don't get to have hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, and you're still trying to manage your money as if you only have a couple $100. That's not how it works. You have to learn the rules. You have to do that. Otherwise, the big risk that you're taking is that that person you're working with is going to have integrity. It's a pretty large bet in this day and age. DJ Envy just made a mistake.